everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we are on day 3 of Project Pack 25. So as you can see, I have all the things again. So we've got our paintbrush, our white jelly roll, and a 10. We've got micron pens. We've got our really dark graphite. I think either you can call it the layout pencil, or I think it's generals like 555. The white charcoal, your regular pencil, and a couple of tortillons. And then we are using the phi tile again. And I have a mason jar full of water. I'll set that off to the side. All right, so first go ahead and pick up your regular Zentangle pencil. Ooh. And then let's go ahead and we're going to, I think, go up about 3/4, and we're going to draw a line, not too long. Again, use kind of what works for you. Like, I think this one is about the size of from the tip to the wood before the paint. And then you're probably gonna wanna, you can use your finger and say maybe about here, but go ahead and we're gonna draw another line about the same size. And you don't have to draw these very dark. I'm trying to at least get it a little dark so y'all can see it very easily. But pick a point in the middle, like right about here, and we're gonna do a V. So just connect these 2 points here. And then turn your tile, and we're gonna pick the middle point again up here, and then just draw straight down here and then straight to here. Perfect. And so what we're doing here is we're basically setting up the string for our project. Now we're gonna pick one of these angles. That's gonna be the easiest, I think. And start from here, and we're just gonna come straight down. So following that line, just come on down. And then we're gonna move to our left. And this line right here, we're gonna go ahead and take that line. And we're gonna come all the way down. And again, we're freehanding this, it doesn't have to be perfect. And again, we're taking these lines and we're just following them down. Moving to our left. Same thing, take this one. Take this line. Move it down. And take this line. Bring it down. Oop. All right. So now that we have our radiating lines coming out, we're gonna go ahead and aura that line next to it to the right. And we're gonna wanna keep a very similar size to this. So I think right about there. Just bring it down. And then this time it kind of worked from the right. Now instead of the left, we're gonna go right. So this right line right here, go ahead. We're gonna bring it on, down right about there. Perfect. As you can see, we're starting to get these ribbon shapes, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to, this line would come right through here, right? In fact, I think I actually might use this one first. So it would come out here. And then come here. And then same thing, come through here. All right, and then let's go ahead and actually, we'll pull it to, let's go back left. Follow this line up. Or follow this line up. All right. So now we have our string. All right, now that we have our string all drawn out, we're gonna take our black watercolor pencil and we're gonna lay out a thick, let's see, I think I wanna do this one. Yeah, let's do this one. So yeah, we're gonna put a thick layer of our black watercolor pencil down. So go ahead and pick your first ribbon and lay down that thick layer of watercolor pencil. All right, now that we have that first one, we're gonna go ahead and pick a second one. I think I am gonna do, I think I might do this one. I think that might kind of be fun. Yep, let's do that. I'm picking that one. So go ahead and pencil in this ribbon. All right. Next, we want to go ahead and pick up our watercolor brush and go ahead and we're going to add water to activate these lines, and that'll give us a nice little buffer while we're drying on our other ribbons for this to dry. All right. So now that we have the watercolor activated, we're gonna let that dry and we're gonna start on some of our other ribbons while that's drying. All right, so now what we want to do is pick a new ribbon. I think for this one, I think I'm gonna pick this ribbon. So what we're gonna do on this ribbon is we're gonna do vertigo. So go ahead and we're gonna do a slight S curve up to the top here. And then we're gonna stop here because we're gonna come up here. And now this is gonna be under, so just kind of imagine if you were still drawing that, coming out here and stopping there. Now this is gonna be a stem shape, so what we're gonna wanna do is kind of give it a little bit of a stem. And just give it a slight aura. And I am using an O1 for this. I don't know if I shared that earlier, but go ahead and then bring it to the top here. So we got a nice little base to work with. And we're gonna set a first layer of little leaf pods, I guess, if you wanna call them that. So go ahead and just draw yourself a little spine. And actually, I think I wanna go outside. So think of these lines that we drew as, again, a string, and you don't have to follow a string perfectly, but I think we're gonna play with this again, because this is gonna be a lot of, over and under techniques we're gonna play with on this project pack. So if you want to fit to that line, you can. And again, we're just drawing these little pod-like leaf shapes. Feel free to go into the black area. The good thing about these watercolor pencils is that they do dry fairly fast. It might still be a little damp, but you'll be all right on this, because like I said, they dry fairly fast. Actually, let's go ahead and bring this into this ribbon. So we have our first layer down. Go ahead and start kind of filling in a little bit more of these leaves. All right, so now we have a nice layer of petals going up. Let's go ahead and add some orbs and these little open pockets. All right, that's looking pretty good. I think I might add another, let's do another petal. We can do that behind here. Let's do another one over here. Just kind of filling in your spaces if you think you have holes that could use some more petals. All right, that is good. So let's go ahead and let's pick, let's see, let that dry a little bit more. The humidity's a little high today, so I don't think that's quite dry. Yeah, we're gonna do another. Let's do another one of these ribbons here. All right, so for this one, let's go ahead and we're gonna ink in our line. And then go ahead and give this line an aura. We'll do it kind of thick, not too thick though. And if you've been following along with the project pack from the Zentangle site, you'll notice that I didn't ink in this line. I don't want to do that. I think I want to have kind of the thought of a ribbon, but not the physical line of a ribbon. And we'll see what that does to this, this tangle. All right, so next, what we want to do is, so this is going to be, I believe it's pronounced Avriel. I could have that totally wrong, and apologies if I do. But what we're going to do is we're gonna make a zigzag line, and you're gonna wanna try to make your zigzag pattern in like a 90-degree angle as best you can. So just go ahead and kind of pick a place to start. You can pick in the middle if you want, you don't have to. But go ahead and you're gonna start making the lines, and again, just kind of thinking where you're going under and over. And again, these do not have to be perfect. And now we're gonna do, basically think about like an X kind of shape. So starting here, coming up, and coming back down. All right. So next what we want to do is we want to make a line from this point here and down. And then if it's easier, which I think for me it is, just go ahead and kind of ink in this triangle shape that is going to be on your right from where you drew that vertical line. And I might actually go ahead and switch out to my 05 for this. Or I mean my guess what, the 08 in black. The 05 was the gray. So again, going ahead, drawing that vertical line in there, and then fill in the triangle on the right side. And go ahead and do that for all of your diamond / square shapes. All right, once you have those all filled in, go ahead and I'm gonna switch back to my 01 because I think this will be easier. But next what we're gonna wanna do is I'm gonna turn my towel. I think that's gonna be the easiest way to do this. But what I'm gonna start doing is lines. We're gonna do lines on either side of this, on both these shapes. I like to go and do one side and then I do the next, whatever is easier for you. And you can either draw just a straight line going all the way down, but what I like to do is play with the pressure that I put on the pen. So I might start like heavy and then kind of lighten up and then come back down, and you start getting these little lines in your work, and I think it just adds a little bit extra little drama, little texture, if that kind of gives you anxiety, you don't have to do it. Again, you can just draw a straight line and you don't even have to worry about the pressure. Again, it's whatever makes you happy as you're drawing. This is just kind of something I like to do. For some of my lines, not everything, but just, again, it just kind of gives it that extra little drama, interest in your piece. Just varying that weight as you draw. And again, we'll just go ahead and do that all the way up on the left side, and then I'm going to come back and do it the same on the other side. All right. So, oops, as you can see, we have that now, that ribbon going through here. Again, I'm gonna keep my O1 for this next step, but we're gonna add, again, a little bit more interest. Since we have like all these just lines, let's go ahead and add some little orbs. So we're gonna wanna do that on this top and on the bottom. All right, now once you have all these orbs inked in, you can either go in and, fill in all these little vacancies that were left, or if you're like me and you don't want to spend your time inking all these in, what I'd like to do is grab like an 05, let's see if I have, or you could do like an 02, actually let's do an 02, just because these are very thin, but what I like to do is just kind of re-ink in all this line, and it kind of helps fill in all those little vacancies without having to go in and ink. But if you enjoy that process of going in and inking in all those little shapes, go ahead and do that. Just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna give this line a little bit extra inking. And then if you have any big holes, you actually can just go back and then with your pen, like I'll see one here, I'll see like one there, and just kind of add an extra little ink to that area instead of going back one by one and filling in those little areas. All right, so there you have Avril. All right. So for our next one, we're going to do a variation of Tangle called Mirror. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line straight down the middle here. And we're going to use our Jelly Roll White in 10. And actually, let me just make sure that's working. Okay. All right, and next what we want to do is we're going to do like a V shape, kind of like an arrow. And so just pick any place to start. So I'm going to go, let's see, here, and then here, and then go ahead and just kind of aura a space right there. And you're going to do that all the way down your tile. All right, next what we want to do is we want to add 3 dots in these empty spaces. And go ahead and you're going to do that down the left and down the right. All right, that is super cute. Once you're done with that, let's see, I'll put this to the side for a second and go ahead and grab your 08. And we're going to draw orbs along our border. And let's see. I think I'm going to start over here. I want to give a little extra time to my white jelly ink just because it does take a little bit longer to dry than, say, my micron pens. So being careful, I'm going to start over here. Go ahead and go over the black watercolor ink. All right, that is super cute. Let's go ahead and grab our white jellies again, and where we kind of came across our black watercolor ink, we're just gonna fill that in with a little bit of white jelly. And if you have a little bit of trouble like I just did right there. Sometimes it's easier just to go and just vertical with your white jelly roll pen just to get that ink flowing. I really like these white jellies. When they first came out, I was a little nervous because I hadn't worked with them, a little intimidated, but I do like them, and I think I want to work a little bit more with these and practice, so I get a little bit better with them. So I have to watch out for those videos as I try to conquer white jellies, and then I'll just come back in with my black micron and kind of fix those little spots where the white jelly kind of came out. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep this white jelly out, and then let's go ahead and we're gonna work on this black ribbon we have. So I think I want to go this way. All right, so the next one we're gonna do is snail. This is a fun little one too. So we're gonna do, you know, the swirls with spirals. So pick a spot. I think I'll just go ahead and start right in the middle on this one, and take your time. Don't rush it. And again, you might have to do a vertical kind of set. So apologies if it's hard to see. All right, and then what I like to do is I like to alternate. So if I come clockwise, I like my next one to be counterclockwise. And then also another tip is, you know, kind of imagine where you'd like your next one to be. So don't just come right here unless you're, you know, looking for that kind of look. I want mine spaced out a little bit, and I think right here is kind of where it would start. And so let's see if it came back around this way. And again, take your time. It's not a rush. Make sure you're breathing. I know sometimes I like to, or not that I like to, but I find myself, I should say, holding my breath when I'm doing these, and I have to remind myself, take a breath. Perfect. And then let's see, we had that one. So my next one will be right here. All right, and then with snails, a cute thing to do with them is add a little weight to one side. And I'm gonna pick kind of this bottom, which is now kind of the right side of my page now. And just add ever so slightly a little bit of extra ink to the bottom. And a little goes a long way with these, so don't feel like you have to make this super thick to get the desired effect you're looking for. All right, and then with these, just to give them a little extra fun, let's see, I'm gonna grab my Micron 08 because I want a little bit of a thicker line for this. So on these little insets here, I'm going to add a little bit of a topper to them. And go ahead and go right over the top. Of your previous tangle. I know these are like little spaces in here. These are a little tricky. And then you'd have one right here. And then right over here would be one. And then we have another one right here. Oops, that one got a little big, that's okay. All right, and next we want to grab back our white Micron and go ahead and just add a little bit of white into those little areas. Okay. All right, let's do Zenith next. So we're gonna play, I think with, that's a tricky one. Do I want this one or this one? I think I want to do Zenith up here. So pick a place to start. I think I'm gonna start right over in this area. And actually, I can use this. So I'm gonna start here. You don't have to use this line, but I think it'll be a nice line to kind of start. We're gonna do a petal shape right there. And actually what we should do, I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and ink in our lines that we're gonna use right here. I got so excited to start this tangle that I just went in and started. This is a fun one. I think you guys are gonna really like this one. Okay. Yep, we got that. All right. So we're gonna draw our petals at an angle. So go ahead and start working those in. All right, and then next what we're gonna do is we're gonna add little like crescent shapes in these grooves right here. And go ahead and fill those in. All right. So now that we have those filled in, I think I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah, I'm gonna switch my pen from the 08 to an 01. And what we're gonna do here is from these little crescent shapes, we're gonna draw just a straight line coming right out. Just like that. So just go ahead and do that real quick with all of them. And then next, what we're gonna do is draw radiating lines out from our crescent shapes. So just come on out, just go straight to there, and then go straight to there. Go ahead and do that with each space. All right, and then to add a little bit of texture to these, what we're gonna do is add some little flute shapes just to the edge of these radiating lines. And again, you'll want to take your time with this. Remember to breathe. And if you're like me, you might have to remind yourself to loosen your grip on your pen, because I love to like just grip my pen and then I'll notice that my poor fingers are very sore, my arm or my hand and my fingers. Oh, I missed this part down here. Let me grab that real quick. That looks so cute. All right, so next what we want to do, I'm going to keep my one for this. Feel free to use a thicker line if you think that works better, but I'm going to do this 01, and we're going to put like a little like lace border on the edge of this. And it's just going to be a cute just little loop. Again, we're just adding a little bit extra drama, if you want to say, interest. Again, just take your time. I know these can take a while. I often find myself doing these in 1 or 2 settings. All right. All right. Looking at it, oh, I'm just loving how this is turning out. Okay. So all right, so for our last ribbon piece, I am gonna do Vega, just like kind of they did in the video for Zentangle. All right, so you'll probably notice I have a white piece of paper. Just to let you know, I did lose like an hour's worth of video. Apparently I was just talking to myself at that point because my iPhone ran out of storage, and I don't have an hour's worth of video of where I explain everything. After I did, I guess it was the Zenith pattern, I was going to start to go into the Vega pattern, which was going to be the last ribbon, and but don't worry, I'll show you the final, and I'll show you the process. But in case you're not familiar with Vega, let me do Vega real quick for you guys. So with Vega, you're gonna make X's, and so this is gonna be a real cute pattern that's gonna look like ribbon on ribbon. So do your X and go ahead and order that. Then you're gonna come across here and you're gonna do your X shape. So this one's gonna go behind here. And then just pick up and come across here. And then again, we're gonna go under. And you're gonna wanna do that just across. Oops, and I'm doing this a little fast, so it's a little messy. I apologize. So, you know, let's pretend this is your ribbon that's going across. Then you're gonna come in and just aura inside. And you're gonna want them to be more square. Again, apologize, this did not, I'm just doing this real fast for you guys because I know not everyone is familiar with Vega. So again, we're just filling in the inside that we just auraed. Then we're going to want to come through. We're going to aura these top pieces and eventually the bottom pieces. I like to start with the top and then just put a little bit of a crescent on top. So you have this like little bump on your ribbon just to give it, again, a little depth, a little fun. Just so your ribbons aren't looking too flat. So again, you're going to want to do that across your top. And then just go ahead and flip your tile and then just do the same on the bottom. Just aura those lines where the ribbon is coming and then fill in. As needed. Luckily that's an easy tile. So we didn't lose too much of me talking about that one. So I'm gonna put that to the side. That's just my scrap paper. So let me show you. All right, so this is the finished tile. So let me explain kind of where I went in and did the shadowing. And then the background, this is just the Tangle Awe, and it's literally just, let me find my black pen again. Awe is just literally lines. So think about like when you did like snowflakes or asterisks, and then you just put an orb at the end, and it makes a really cute little whimsy pattern in the background. And then you just kind of do that, and you can fluctuate the size of your lines, and just kind of play around with this pattern. And then you can also add in just some random orbs to kind of help fill in the space as you see fit. And so that's what I did with the background. And I used the gray 05 that came with the project pack. So if you have a gray micron, you can use that, or you can also just use your pencil and put that in. But it helps give it a little bit of whimsy to your background. And I kind of thought of, all the ribbons when I would, when would I use lots of ribbon? Well, it's usually during the holidays if I'm wrapping, presents. And so, this kind of reminded me of like snow. And so again, it's fun, it's whimsy. I thought it was cute. You feel free, if you just want to do spirals in your background, you can do some spirals in your background, or just pick a favorite, tangle that, to put in your background. You don't want anything too busy. So, just find an easy, simple one. Again, I used Awe. And then for my shadowing, for this little sprig that came over the top of my white ribbon, I just added a line of graphite around it and buffed that to pop it off the white ribbon. And then for my ribbons, on the background, I went and gave it graphite so it lifted. Added graphite, you know, between my ribbons, and like if this little sprig petal leaf was coming up, I added some graphite here and then just kind of, you know, gave it a little buff of my tortillon and gave it a little extra shadow to help pop. And you can see how that popped it up off the page and up off the additional ribbons coming through. For Vega, I went around and like each of the little ribbon X's, I just added a little bit of graphite to help pop these little ribbons off. And then of course on the edges, I gave it a little bit of shadowing just again to help it push off the page. And then if like this ribbon came over it, again adding graphite and puffing that graphite out just to give it a little bit of shadow. Because again, you know, this project pack is all about, you know, above and beyond, and like very much hollybaugh type techniques. And then all the different materials to help, you know, pull and give texture, just enhancements. Again, you know, the white bringing the jelly roll, giving some extra depth to these spirals. For this one, I used my darker graphite. I added it to the bottom and then pulled it up, and I only did to this triangle, right? And then I added a little bit extra to the bottom after I was, you know, done pushing it or pulling it up, just to give it a little bit more dimension to this triangle. So a little bit of gradient on the graphite. And again, just adding graphite to the edges to help pull this one up above where it needed it. And then for let's see, like this one, this is mirror. For that, I just used my, let's see, first we brought in some graphite, and I used the darker because this is already the dark gray, you know, from the watercolor pencil. And then the edge here on the left, and then I took it edge to the right here, and again just buffed out, pulling that graphite into the middle a little bit. And then I used the white charcoal. I just put it right down the middle, again just to give it a little bit of roundness, you know, bringing the middle part, you know, up a little bit. And then again, like adding these shadows also helped, you know, not make the background so stark white, which I think was really nice for this tangle. So again, apologies for losing all that video and me talking through, but basically I just did that now. I just rehashed everything as I was doing it, and so hopefully that helps. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave me any questions in the comment. If I, you know, how I did something, if I forgot and I have not mentioned it during this kind of brief overview of everything I did on the shadowing. Or if you have any questions in general about, you know, the Zentangles or any of these patterns, you know, please reach out. I'm happy to answer any of the questions. And again, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying this project pack. There's a lot of great techniques in this project pack, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do it for my videos, just so that you guys, you know, could understand, you know, some of the processes to help enhance your tangles while you're doing them. And I know I am enjoying doing a lot of the shading. It's not something that I was doing a lot of in some of my previous videos. I love just ink on white paper. But I know, you know, the part of this is learning the process and, you know, understanding what you're doing with your lines and why you're doing it, and how little enhancements can really pop a piece. So, you know, whether it's, you know, like little fluted lines, you know, even adding the little like lace details, you know, just again, just those little things that can really enhance a piece that you're working on, you know, because sometimes we get stuck and we're like, what can I do to really pop this piece? You know, there's a lot of great, you know, things we've done in this piece that you can add to different tangles that you're working on. So again, if you guys are enjoying this, please, you know, give a like or a subscribe, and I can't wait to see you guys on the day 4.